Aloha Planetary Kin. Welcome to the video edition of It's About Time, where we explore the difference between natural time and artificial time. I'm your host and Cosmic Sky Watcher, Randy Bruner, also known as Cosmic Hand, transmitting aligned with the divine from 19.5 on the Big Island of Hawaii. It's about time. Aloha Planetary Kin. Today we're talking about the return of the goddess. And since I'm your Cosmic Sky Watcher, I want to relate what's been going on for the past few moons in the sky. It was very interesting for me last night. I was out at Second Saturday in town here at Pahoa, Hawaii for the music festival, and look up and there's Jupiter conjunct the moon directly overhead, and it just gives me a thrill. You know, I look up and I see the interaction of the planets in the sky, and it really does something for me, and I encourage you to participate in that. Go out, see the stars. You know, don't just listen to me talk about it. Go out and share in that experience. It really is a wonderful experience to see the interaction of the planets in the sky. Which brings me to the topic today. That is the interaction of the planets over the past several moons. Going back to the full moon of Aquarius, that was in January. You can look up the dates if you want to know the exact dates, but around that time, all 5 visible planets were together in the morning sky. And all through the night, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars dominated the night sky. So the paradigm of religion, materialism, and war were dominating the night sky. And when the morning came, then Venus and Mercury would come up, and those other 3 would still be in the sky. So on that mornings, you would be able to see Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter all at the same time. Every visible planet was grouped together in just over 1/4 of the sky. And what was happening with me is it was literally waking me up. As soon as Mercury would come up, I'd wake up. And I knew, okay, the planets are out. So I'd jump out of bed, throw some clothes on, and go out, and there they were. And when you see that lineup of planets, you can really see that Venus so far outshines all the other planets as to make them almost irrelevant in the sky. I mean, the 3 brightest things in the sky are the sun, the moon, and Venus. And there isn't any other planet or star that even comes close to the brilliance of Venus. So Venus dominated the dawn for each of these days. And so what I was inspired by Venus to do was to call upon the power of the goddess and ask the lost planets to restore their former glory. When they were taken over by the patriarchy, they became what they are today energetically. Jupiter now represents religion, or the limitations that come from religion, when formerly it was spirituality. Saturn today represents the hard taskmaster, materialism, responsibility, when in its former glory it was abundance. And in truth, the world is abundant enough to support all the people. We don't have to play the game that we've been playing. And Mars, of course, is now the god of war, when in fact in its former glory it was the power of passion, not the power of war. Mars was motivated to express passion rather than war. And so with Venus being so dominant in the dawn of course represents the new day, the new opportunities, the new possibilities, not just for a day or for however many days it was, because it was a few weeks. But the point is, it represents the new opportunities. Here we are creating a new world. We're dreaming a new world into being in these times. So with the power of Venus, the power of beauty, love, and power of the goddess is represented by the planet Venus. So in that morning ritual, I called upon the beauty, love, and power of the goddess to encourage Jupiter to restore spirituality and eliminate religion. The beauty, love, and power of the goddess calls upon Saturn to restore abundance and eliminate materialism. The beauty, love, and power of the goddess entices Mars to put down the sword and make love, not war. And the beauty, love, and power of the goddess calls upon Mercury to deliver this message to the Earth, to the other planets, and to the humans. So this is what I was called upon to do for these times. And now, and it's interesting for me because I didn't look forward to this time while those things were going on. I was just inspired to do it. And as I said, literally, it woke me up in the morning to get up and do these things. And I did encourage several of my goddess friends to participate in these activities as well. But now, those same planets that were visible along with Venus have all gone retrograde. Every one of those other 4 planets has gone retrograde. Well, now Jupiter has gone direct again, but all those lost planets plus Mercury all went retrograde together with Pluto. So there were 5 planets retrograde at one time. And now there's only 4 planets retrograde, but still 4 retrograde planets is huge. And again, the lost planets went retrograde after these appearances in the morning sky. So Venus is no longer the morning star, and neither is Mercury. But the point is, they were there to help that shift take place. And the retrogrades actually show those planets literally moving backwards in the sky. They're retracing their steps. So from the energy of Venus being direct to all the lost planets going retrograde is a fulfillment of that request. That Jupiter, that Saturn, that Mars all retrace their steps. That gives them the opportunity to redo their own energy, to reestablish themselves in their former glory, to bring back the glory of spirituality, the glory of abundance, the glory of passion, which have been lost in the patriarchy. And so what we're dealing with here is as above, so below. This is what's happening in the stars. And like I said, you can go out and still see them in the sky, not all of them, but you can still see Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. So if you go out at night and you can see them, make that request of them. While they're retrograde, you can ask them, hey, restore your former glory. Give us back those powers that were usurped in order to establish the limiting patriarchy that we're living under now. And so, as I said at the beginning, this is the return of the goddess. The goddess dominated the morning sky. The goddess dominated the dawn when all the other planets were visible. Then the lost planets went retrograde. And when the lost planets went retrograde, they get a chance to be redone. Again, very powerful and positive aspects for the reestablishment of the goddess in our society. And along with the stuff that we discussed about the Mayan calendar, it's all coming together. So part of our vision of a new future is the vision of the return of the goddess, the return of the planetary energies to their former glory, and of course the return of the human race to its former glory. Because that's what we're talking about here. We're all dreaming a new dream. Let's dream the dream of humanity rising up to its former glory, not just its former glory, but new glory, new opportunities, and a new world for all of us to live in peace, love, and happiness. And again, we're going to continue with this in the next segment of It's About Time. Aloha Planetary Kin. This is an addendum to the Return of the Goddess that I just shot. And it was interesting for me because the very next day after I shot the earlier segment that you just saw, I got up and I looked at space weather, spaceweather.com, and I saw this image of a CME, which is a corona mass ejection from the sun. And if you look at it here, you see the corona mass ejection going around and actually appears to circle all the way around Venus. It's as if the sun was reaching out and wrapping its arms around the goddess of love. Venus again dominates the sky when it's bright, but here it is with the sun. The sun is actually reaching out, wrapping its arm around the goddess. And then look over here on the other side of the sun, and what do we have here? We have the Pleiades. So the sun, the Pleiades, and Venus are all out there shining all day long. And what's the Pleiades? The seven sisters. So we have the goddess of love, the sun, and the seven sisters, all shining goddess energy on the earth during this time. So I wanted to go ahead and add this on to let you see what is also going on in the solar system. So remember, stay tuned. We'll have more from It's About Time.